little ninja. Today I'm gonna do a lightsaber review for my Flowsaber, which is the saber I have right here. All right, here are the pros of a Flowsaber. I love the length of the hilts. I do wish it could be longer, but as far as sabers go, compared to maybe my Ultra Sabers or one of my other sabers, the hilt is quite long. So that gives me more opportunity to work with. So I can hold it down here and have things. I can turn it around and have things to do up here, which is really, really great. So if the hilt is only this long, like some of the sabers you get, that means you only have this much opportunity to do skills. So the longer the hilt, the more you have to work with. So I like that this one has a nice and long hilt. The other thing I really like about this is the way the weight is distributed throughout the saber is really nice. So it affords a nice spin. I don't have to fight with it. Once I get it in motion, it's gonna go. I don't have to do much to get it moving. Whereas some of my other sabers, they don't have any of that rotational weight that's gonna take it anywhere, so they kind of just, and then just kind of drop. So that's what I really love about this one, and it's built for that, which I really appreciate, because you can't expect a saber that's not meant for these very specific skills that we're doing. I love doing long arm rolls with this one, it feels really good. You can't expect a company to build it for that when it's not something they have ever been made for in the past. This is sort of a new thing where these fancy tricks are coming out within the lightsaber realm. So there's lots of room for growth, there's lots of room for improvement. So I really like that this saber is well on the way there. Another thing that I really love about this is I'm not afraid to drop it. My Ultra saber is so beautiful that I am so afraid that if I drop it, it's gonna break. Whereas this one, this thing is not gonna break. You know, I might worry a little bit about the blade, but the great thing is when they sent this to me, they sent me an extra blade. I'm not afraid to drop this and break this blade because I know I have another one in my trunk. And then if I break that one, all I have to do is just call them and be like, yo, I need another blade, and they'll probably send one to me. I really love the handle and the smoothness of it. There's not a lot to it. There's no gadgets or anything. It's just minimal. A couple of my other sabers have different pieces and bits and bobs. For me, it's frustrating. I don't want extra pieces. I don't want it to look like a replica of Luke's saber or Kylo Ren's saber. I want a saber that I can use and that I can easily manipulate my hand up and down the saber. So what I really love about this one is that there's nothing to it. And I really like that the button glows. I like how easy it is to turn on. I really love how bright it is. It's an LED light inside, I believe. It's bright, really, really bright, and I really like that. And I do believe that they have other colors and like a color card you can use, but I just don't have that one. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. It works really well for my material. I don't feel like I'm fighting with it. I don't feel like it's out of control like some of the other sabers I've used. Just super simple, super clean, very sleek, really sexy. Okay, let's get into some of the cons here. There's a couple things about this saber, and I have had a conversation with the makers and the owners about this. They called me for my feedback, which I really appreciate because I'm someone that is very, very specific with what I want from the tool that I'm using. I don't like anything that's too heavy. I don't like anything that's too long. There's a bunch of different things that when I'm building my own material and my own stabs, that I want this, 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 and this. Okay, first thing that we need to talk about, and it's the first thing that I noticed about this, is right here. You see these? Now, this is a work in progress, I've heard, but there is this little aesthetic thing on the end. And yeah, it looks cool. I'm gonna give you that. But, I don't know if you can see, they're like razor blades. That is sharp enough that with a little bit of velocity, I'm gonna get cuts on my hand. For me, when I'm going around my neck and I'm doing all this stuff, you know, I've been doing this for 30 years, but there's times when this is coming near my face, or I miss it sometimes and it grazes my cheek, and I do not want razor blades anywhere near my eyeballs or my face or my neck at all. That to me is the biggest con right there. Now what I've done, I just took off the protection I added. You can see that there's a little bit of grime there. So what I did is I took the grip tape that they gave me for this that I'm not using, and I wrapped it around this, and then I just put some silver tape over top of it, so you actually can barely see it unless you're looking at it up close. So I took it off for the purpose of this video, which is why I'm not going to be doing a lot of stuff, because I don't want to be working with these razor blades. And I brought that up with Connor, the guy who owns the company, and he was very receptive to the feedback. And so I know that they're gonna fix that for the next round, the next model of these. Next thing, I'll just work my way down. This button turns it on really easy, turns it off really easy. Now I tend to hold the saber up here near the end of the blade. For me, like I said, I want a slightly longer hilt, so I'm trying to like get as much space and as much real estate up here as I can. However, when I do that, I'm just doing things and the thing turns on and off. So I'll be doing this like crazy stuff. Oh, and then it turns off. And then I can't use that footage. Is that ever frustrating when you're like, I got it? Because sometimes I'm doing stuff that's difficult and takes me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tries. And when I've done it 15 times because this keeps shutting off, oh man, is that ever infuriating. And it's just because, and this was a simple thing, and they are aware of this, and I told them, if you, like a couple of my other lightsabers, you have to hold the button to turn it off. That's what this one needs. So the button itself is really, really nice, and it lights up. Like, look how pretty that is. It turns off too easy. That's it. If you held it down here, and you did all your stuff down here, yeah, that's great. You're not gonna have a problem at all. But because I'm trying to hug the very edge, I'm trying to get as much to the end as I can, I'm constantly battling that. And so then I'm trying to guess where to start my hand, but then even the palm of my hand turns it off. So that's a big deal for me, especially when I'm doing skills that are difficult. And the only reason it wasn't successful is because the lightsaber turned off. Next, the end. This lightsaber, it may look light when I use it. I've been doing it a long time, but it is really heavy, like really, really heavy. Too heavy for what I like. The weight for me is not an issue because like I said, I did learn on a lighter stick, so a lot of my technique is there. So I don't need the weight of a sword to hold it down for me. I can do it without it. So I find that this is just a little bit too heavy. All the weight pretty much is in this little end thing, and you can unscrew it because this is how you charge the batteries. All of the weight is literally right here. This is now super light. I love the weight of this, that this isn't on there. This, it's pretty heavy, and it is solid metal here. And this, spinning on this at speed, hitting this, is a broken jaw waiting to happen. Now I feel that I have enough experience and knowledge and awareness of the material that I'm doing that I'm not quite worried about that. However, when I give it to other people, the first thing I'm gonna say is please be careful of this end because it is heavy. And the other thing about this is, okay, maybe you're not gonna be swinging it around and hitting yourself in the head. If you drop it on the floor in a place that has a hard, maybe somewhat fragile floor, this isn't gonna be the thing to do. So if you have mats, gym mats or judo mats, this is great, it's fine. As long as you're aware of where the end is at all times, that is very important with this Flowsaber. This to me is concerning. I feel like this could be a different, I like the look of it, like I said, but I feel like this little butt end could be made of something a lot lighter and a different material, and it would look just as good. That's gonna be a little bit safer. So those are pretty much my biggest issues with this. However, that being said, out of the 3 lightsabers that I have, this one is my favorite by far, and it's because it is weighted beautifully for spinning. And the other lightsabers I have aren't quite there. Like the Ultra Sabers one is meant for replicating combat, so it's really light and easy to move around. But this one is the one that I'm gonna use for any sort of spinning, any sort of fancy skills. I'm using this lightsaber. Now, I only have one extra little thing, and that's just my own thing. It has nothing to do with the saber. I think it's a little bit too long, just maybe this much too long, because I have an issue where I can't swing down. Look, it turned off again. When I swing down, just this part of the tip hits the ground. So I can't straighten my arm down here unless I hold it on the blade. So that's kind of why I wanted the hilt to be a little bit longer, is because I want it to be a little bit shorter. So if I hold it down here, my arms aren't quite long enough, I'm not quite tall enough to skim it, and I don't like having to bring it up at the back. I find that's really inefficient. You'll see other people doing it. To me, it shows a lack of technique. I want to be able to do everything down here, straighten that arm. So that's another reason why I hold it so close to the end of the blade, is because I'm looking for a little bit more space. All in all, I really love this saber. I really do. I know that I'm quite particular on the things that I don't like about it. However, for what I'm using it for, it's really, really great. So I think for someone who is an experienced spinner and has a really good awareness of how the saber is going to move around your body doing all of this stuff, I think it's a great saber for you. I think it really is. It's a really nice option, really well made, super durable. It can be dropped. It's gonna last forever, super easy to charge. I don't feel like it's gonna break. And that's huge, huge, because I drop it a lot. Like I said, out of my 3 lightsabers, it is my favorite. All in all, really well made, quality craftsmanship here. Just a few little things, little bugs that need to be worked out, but other than that, it's a really nice lightsaber. So that's it for me. That was my Flowsaber lightsaber review. Hope you found that interesting and helpful. Maybe you're looking for a lightsaber for yourself. Maybe not. Maybe you just like lightsaber videos. I will put the link for the company and how you might be able to get one for yourself down in the description below. Again, these are just my opinions of these lightsabers, so if you want to try one out for yourself, just get one. I don't think it's bad to have more than one lightsaber. We should all have multiple lightsabers. Now, before you go, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click that little red button, add a like, add a comment, share it with your friends, tell everybody that I have the coolest videos around. Look, it just turned off again. So subscribe, like, comment. If there's anything you'd like to hear me talk about, put it in the comments down below. Or if you have a Flowsaber and you have some feedback on it, put that in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think of it, coming from a different background than I am. It'd be really interesting. And until next time, may the force be with you.